back to the 4 Mile Circus. Here we are with episode 7 of Play the Game, and it's where I go digging in the crates on itch and pull out some indie game beauties. First up is AI Battle Arena by Terpod Attack. As the name would suggest, the game is entirely controlled by the AI. You as the player really get to set the parameters in which the battles take place. The battles are between orange and blue battle bots, and it's their fight to capture these spawn points. As you can see on the map, top right hand corner, little orange guys capturing the spawn points up there, capturing the spawn points, and thus affecting the battle that way. So again, they're moving around now. As I say, you are there to set the parameters of the match. So that is the amount of bots that there are, the arena that they're fighting in, and the reinforcements. They can have up to 1,000 reinforcements. I think there's 3 arenas, and you can have up to 64 bots fighting at any one time. So once you've set the parameters, here you go. Here's the sliders here. So you're setting team size, bots per player, and level is the map that you're playing on. And so once you've set those, you sort of sit back and watch them go, and it's quite interesting seeing how the AI handles it. The battles sort of swing around quite a lot. You think that one side has got a definite advantage, and then the other side fights back with plucky style. You see Orange here making a power play for the centre. Looks like they're going to control that and then push down into the Blues areas. But not all is as it seems often as not, and things change around. I really enjoyed this. I had it on. I was drinking a cup of tea and played the various battles. I found it great fun. So in this current version, the bots stats are randomly generated on spawn. This is quite an interesting point here. You can see how the environment has an effect. That line of blue soldiers that are trying to force their way single file through across the top, they're just being monstered by the oranges waiting on the other side, and that affects the battle. As you can see, Orange clearly won this one due to that mistake by the Blues. I was saying the bots are randomly generated on spawn. So this includes their accuracy, their movement speed, their health, and their damage. So you've got these interesting variants going on with each of the characters. They're all different, and you can see that. You can see some are much better shots than others, and some can take on sort of 4 or 5 guys at the same time. Again, in this one, Orange have got themselves cornered up in the top left-hand corner now, and they're caught like rats in a trap. But there you go. It's called AI Battle Arena. It's by Terpod Attack. I hope I'm saying that right. And it's available for free on it, so get yourself over there and download it. Next up is a great little game called Bringin of Brilliance, and that is by Crimson 7, or also Team Armchair Factory. And this was made for the K-State 2018 Annual Jam. This is the entrance. Now, I've really enjoyed this. I played this lots over this last week. The story is to destroy the machines and collect their light to serve your AI master more AI in his journey to enlightenment. Your kind has ever sought to scrape away the edges of the dark with brilliant fire. Go now, form of man, and return to me the brilliance that feeds my fledgling soul. That all sounds straightforward. But what it is, behind it all, is this cracking little game. So it's a 3D world. It's sort of Tronish. I use that word a lot, but it's sort of Tronish, in which you have to gather light and deliver it to your master. Now, I will freely admit that I didn't read that part when I first played this game, and I followed these little running guys around for the first 10 minutes. Where are we going? Where are we going? What are we doing? What are we doing? I was like that, and then I realised you could stab them and steal their light. So you gain their light, and there you go. But what happens is that once you've gained a certain amount of light, you can create weaponry from that. Now, if you look at the top left-hand corner, you've got a health bar and a light bar. That light bar fills up, and you complete the level. But as I say, as it fills up, you gain access to upgrades. This beautiful bow, which I goddamn love. And you get speed upgrades, power upgrades, those sort of things, all whilst collecting the light. So it's to start with, you run around chasing those little guys, and then these red, what are they? I suppose red cubes start spawning up in the sky, and these guys fire shots at you. See those little shots coming towards me? So they slowly travel towards you and are guided. They will follow you around corners. So you have to try and get walls in between you and them to stop them hitting you. You have these great moments like this where you're just charging around this fantastic environment as quick as you can, trying to dodge these things. So it's a real hit and run tactic. You're sort of trying to knock those cubes out of the sky. Death is rapid. And gather big white blocks that they fall. I did manage to make it to level 2. This is level 2. It's a slightly more open level, which makes it harder to deal with the cubes firing the red shots at you. Now those guys that spawn from these sort of points here, they're sort of coming out of that chute there, and they gather. They don't disappear. And they gather and they gather and they gather, and you end up with hundreds of these things. Look at that! Hundreds of these things in the sky, all firing shots at you that are chasing you down. It gets a little frantic. It gets a little frantic. I only made it to the second level because, as you can see, it gets pretty juicy. But I would highly recommend this game. I would recommend anyone to go over to itch, download it again for free. It's called Bringer of Light, and it's by Team Armchair Factory. Go get it. Next up is a game called Cosa Nostra. Cosa Nostra. It's the Mafia anyway, and it's by Barudil. It's an interesting game. I really enjoyed this. Again, it's based around you being a young up-and-coming mafia boss who's given the company by your father, and then go through a slight sort of tutorial, which you'll see here. You're in charge of Beirut Import Co. And I love the styling of it straight away. It all takes place inside this little office here, where people come through the door to meet you, ask you questions like the goddamn don that you are, and kiss the ring. You're told at the start by I think it's your father, that every decision will affect the business. At the top you'll see some stats showing the current state of money, men, respect and police. There you go at the top. Now each of those stats has to remain between 0 and 100. And every decision you make affects those stats. Also at the same time, as you can see at the top, there's a sort of power bar that's creeping up. If that reaches the top, you can make a power play for the city and attack all the other families. So the game itself is about choosing the right routes, basically. So in this case, I missed that bit, but here we go. Let's see what this guy wants. A woman has called, so she says she knows she wants to speak with you. So some answers will affect your 4 ratings at the top, some won't. One of our associates has vanished. Do you know what happened to him? And maybe he got lost in his way. So that gives me 10 more influence, that does. I'm not entirely sure how those are worked out at the moment, but as you can see, each decision is very important, and you've got to try and balance those 4 figures at the top whilst continually grabbing power, more and more power. So you know, some actions will cost you manpower and will cost you money, but will have a positive effect on that green bar. Some will work the other way. You'll lose power, you'll lose influence, whatever, and it will have a negative effect. So you're really trying to feel your way through. As you can see, that green power is creeping up. But I really love the style of it. I love this constant row of people coming in to see the Don. Yeah, the music score is cool as well. But it's a really fun game. It's sort of a little bit light-hearted. There you go. Look, I've got the attackometer at the top. I've made all the right decisions. Look at the power: 50, 30, 90, 70. I can start my attack upon the city. So what you go to here then is a city conquest. Then your stats versus your opponent, the other families, gets weighed up. Uh-oh, I'm behind. I'm behind. I've got more influence, and I've got the cops on my side. What does that mean? 60%. Plays 57%. I won. I love that graphic. Look at them shooting up the town. Oh yeah, give me that money. So there you go. That is called the Cosa Nostra. It's by Barudil. It's available for free on itch. Get yourselves over there and download it. Have a go. Great fun. Next up is the wonderfully named Molotov, Your Town Hall. I mean, where do they get these names from? It's ace, and that's by Meckham. As you can see, it's a side-scrolling pixel art game in which you are a Molotov wielding maniac, and you are out for revenge upon the authorities. Let me read what they said. The description is: they have taken everything away from you. Now you take it back. Find and burn down government buildings with your Molotovs. Rally support from the populace and start an uprising. We shall overcome! The national director must fall. And this was made for the Pizza Jam 2018, and the theme was movement. Now, as you can see, you take control of this little pixel art guy there. A lovely little animation, chucking the Molotovs. You have all sorts of different enemies. These guys in the berets, I love them. Reminds me of the people in Papers, Please. The crowd milling around outside your checkpoint. But you have these guys with different sorts of guns. These guys have got pistols. You have machine gunners. You have guys that fire missiles. There's a missile guy here. Machine gun at the top in a green beret. They're quite deadly. And this is it. You know, the basic mechanism is to fight your way through with the power of Molotovs. You adjust the Molotov throw by using the mouse to get distance and range. There are a couple of levels, and also an end boss, which you'll see in a minute. And the second level's slightly more hectic than the first. You get lots of these machine gun guys. But I really enjoyed it. I love the music. Music's ace. Feels like you're in the A-Team. So you have to be careful of the flames that come out of the Molotovs, because if you stand on those, it affects your health bar. There is a duck. Right mouse button. I don't think I ever use it. Duck, because it doesn't seem to. I could get it working. It does work. It just doesn't seem to help me in any situations. But you can duck the bullets if you're brave enough. So there's mention of government buildings. I didn't find any government buildings, but what I did find was an end boss, which is here. You get to have your own Tiananmen Square moment where you stand in front of tanks with a Molotov, which was great. I wasn't expecting this at all. Hey, another beautiful example of an indie game, which is so much, with clever ideas and so much imagination to come up with these things. Watch out! Watch out! Goddamn tank. It progresses. The tank gets a top gunner after a while, which makes it doubly difficult. But I had real fun. I would recommend it to anyone. Go get it. Go see if you can beat it. The tank goes down to the mighty Molotovs. Mission complete. Signing off. So again, that game's called Molotov Your Town Hall. You can't miss that name, and it's by the wonderful people at Mecham. Next up is a unusual game called Pill Racers. It's by Pill Racers. Pill Racers by Pill Racers, and it's about a racing game basically where you play as a pill, and you have to race through the human body to get to the source of the pain. The source of the pain are these. You'll see one coming up now. Sort of a red glowing area. There's one. Painkillers delivered, sir. And you get to race the other pills around the human body. Oh, it's just such a brilliant idea. It's very Fantastic Void. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that film. But it's great fun. You're sort of racing around the veins and the various organs of people. Can't say I was any good at it. I did manage to keep up with the other pills for stretches of time. It's very hard. It's sort of like Micro Machinist, where your sort of car drifts around and you have to sort of spin it around to control it. Really good fun, and a really good demonstration of the originality that you get in indie gaming. Here's the pill entering the brain, delivering some painkillers to the brain. So you get these distinct areas like this. I'll try and squeeze my way in here. A really good, as I say, a really good example of just the uniqueness of these indie games and the originality of thought that you get from these. I really enjoyed myself playing this. I played it a number of times, could never beat the other pills. I only got 4th, which was my best one. I'm not sure whether you can play it online. As you can see here, you enter like the heart structure, I believe this is, and you've got valves, bicuspid valves, tricuspid valves to get through. And there's various ways to get to any of the sources of pain. So you can, which was my problem, you can take a wrong turn and then everyone's off. I think you can sort of see on the blue outline of the person. I like the way the sort of X-ray shows you the veins and the organs underneath this sort of circular X-ray that shows you the pill. I had real good fun playing this. It's as I say, it's available on itch to download, and it's free. So I recommend getting over there and downloading it. It's a lot of fun, and see if you can beat the other pills. Come on, my son. You get the flow is different. I don't know whether I'm just imagining it, but it depends on the flow of each vein, whether it's going towards you or away from you, whether how quick you're going. You can go into areas like, I think that green area ahead is like the stomach, and you can get caught in fluids there. So there's those sort of mechanics within it as well. I'm going the wrong way, going the wrong way. Turn around, turn around. Yeah, I'm right at the back now, aren't I? 6 out of 8. It's a very interesting game, and that's it. That's the way. Head south. And a lot of fun. I think if once you got to know the map a little bit, when you got to know the lanes, you could probably compete a bit better with the other pills. Watch out! What is that orange glowy thing? Any of you got an orange glowy thing? No idea. But there you go. 6th. There you go. It's free to download. Go get it. It's called Pill Racers. Okay, last up today is a game called Skullhammer by Creasy, and this game is cracking. Really good. Again, available for free download on itch. It is by, let's say, Crazy, and it was made for the Creasy, sorry, and it was made for the Crazy Compo #2 Jam competition. The description is: the main character, a skeleton without a name, has been imprisoned inside of the haunted dungeons. Neither him nor you know how it's happened, but you need to help that guy find a way out. But you have to be careful, because the dungeons are full of scary creatures and frightening ghosts. I don't know why a skeleton will be scared of a ghost, but there you go, he is. So it's this sort of 2D platformer, wonderfully done. I love the skeleton characters, just lovely pixel art there. And it's about your attempt to get out of this dungeon. There are various switches, as you can see I'm jumping on a switch there, various switches that you can, some of them you can tread on, some of them you have to hit with a hammer that you pick up, which will then open doors and help you escape. This hammer, which is this in here, you can use to attack the bad guys, or as I say, there are some switches that you have to hit with the hammer that jumping on won't help. But the hammer itself has a weight, which is quite an interesting mechanic. Oh, pick it up! Pick it up! Well, they're just looking at it. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. The hammer has a weight to it. Look at that animation as well, just quickly stop it. As it hits, the screen shakes. It's a beautiful game, this is. Congratulations to Creasy. Yeah, you can put the hammer down, it has a weight to it. So you can see when I jump with that, holding that hammer, I can't jump very high. Whereas if you drop the hammer, which I'm about to do there, dropped it onto a pressure pad, you jump much higher. So Creasy says there are some Easter eggs hidden within the game, which I suspect are to do with those pressure pads. I couldn't find them, but there's no surprises there. But I suspect that placing that hammer on some pressure pads will open a door that I probably didn't find. So it's a short game, but it's there in its entirety. It's beautifully made. The animation's fantastic. The soundtrack's good, and I love the style. They've managed to squeeze a lot of atmosphere into the game. Take that, zombie! Oh! It's quite tricky. It took me a few Took me a few attempts to do this, even though it's short. It took me a few goes. But I suspect that you can get to release one of these skeleton guys, because there are hints in it. But there you go. It's very, very playable, and it's a really well finished game. And I'd love to see more of this and all the others that I've looked at today. They're all beautiful games, and they are a real clear indication of how indie games are rocking it, and are often far more interesting than these AAA bore fests that are out there. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that. That was Play the Game number 7. If you did enjoy that, hit the like button or even describe it. As I say, all those games are available for free to download on itch. So why are you here still? Why are you here? Get cracking. Right, take care. Bye-bye.